I was just sitting down to breakfast with Zanzibar, my cat, when my front door opened all by itself. There stood my perfectly turned-out cousin, Persnickerty. Cloak swirling, she sailed into my cave, sweeping Zanzibar out of her way.
"Come along, Heckerty,"
she ordered.
"It's time for your Christmas present. I've come up with a fabulous plan which I know you'll love."
I looked at Zanzibar, who looked at me. We both stared at her. What could she mean?
"It's makeover time,"
announced Persnickerty with a flourish.
"I've booked you into the Spellbound Beauty Parlor, and we're going there now."
Huh? There was a flash, a swoosh, then hundreds of sparkly stars in red and green. When I opened my eyes, I was sitting in a chair with a stylist hovering nearby.
"Tidy her up,"
commanded Persnickerty.
"Her hair looks like a rat's nest. Make it smooth and shiny, just like mine."
Next, she turned to a small bald man with a long measuring tape around his neck.
"Look at her terrible tattered clothes," she said. "Heckerty needs a new cloak, one that swishes and swirls, just like mine." "And now her hat,"
continued Persnickerty.
"Her battered and patched hat with its broken brim. Take it away and make her a beautiful witch's hat, just like mine." "Now, Heckerty," she said, "sit still and stop wriggling."
Then Persnickerty snapped her fingers and her broomstick instantly flew over.
"Ah, yes," said Persnickerty. "I almost forgot your broomstick. It's not even good enough for firewood. I've ordered a new one, just like mine. I'll be back."
And in a shower of pink hearts and silver sparkles, she was gone. Everyone got to work. My hair was washed and pulled, and pulled, and pulled. The little man ran around me, measuring and waving his hands. His assistant started cutting and sewing. I closed my eyes. I didn't want any part of this, but I couldn't see any way to stop it. Suddenly, Persnickerty was back.
"Stand up,"
she ordered me.
"Now, look at yourself in the mirror."
I opened my eyes and stared and stared and stared. It was the same me. With my green face, it couldn't be anyone else. But that was the only thing about me that I did recognize. The small bald man presented me with a beautiful new cloak. I put it on over my patched orange coat. It swished and swirled, just like Persnickerty's. The hat was beautiful, marvelous, and it was pointed and shiny, just like Persnickerty's. Then I looked in the mirror. The neat and tidy person with the green face staring back at me didn't look like me at all. Persnickerty was very pleased with herself. "Happy Christmas, Heckerty," she said.
You look wonderful. Try to keep yourself this way. And to complete your makeover, here is the latest in broomsticks. It's fast and it doesn't fly upside down. It's just like mine. I thanked her for my Christmas presents, climbed on the new broomstick, and headed home. I opened the door to my cave and went in. Zanzibar came slowly towards the door. His eyes got bigger and bigger.
Who are you?
He hissed. It's me, Zanz, I said. It's me, Heckerty. Don't you know me anymore?
Go away! You are not my Heckerty. You aren't! You aren't!
He yelled. And he shrieked and howled and ran into the back of the cave. He was gone. I was so unhappy. I had to go out. Maybe flying around would help. I was high above a field when I heard someone crying. I flew down to see who it was. It was a little old witch with white hair, and she was shivering. What's wrong? I asked her. I'm so cold, she said. There was a big storm, and I was thrown all over the sky. When it was over, my cloak was gone. I'm freezing, she moaned. Her teeth chattered. I gave her the new cloak, the swishy swirly one, just like Persnickerty's. There, I said, you need this more than I do. Happy Christmas! She looked at me wide-eyed. Thank you, she said. Thank you very much. I climbed back on the broom and flew off towards the river. Down below me, I saw a bald wizard climbing up a tree, looking very upset. Once again, I flew down to see what was wrong. His hat had caught on the top of a thorn bush and had been ripped to shreds. I took off my shiny new hat and gave it to him. There, I said, you need this more than I do. Happy Christmas! He looked at me in amazement. Thank you, he said. Thank you very much. I turned the broomstick to go home. The wind whistled around my head and my straight hair began to curl. Soon it looked like it always did, curly and frizzy. I was close to my cave when I saw a small family standing in the road. Christmas presents were all around them. For the third time, I flew down to see what was wrong. Our broomstick broke, they said sadly. We had so many presents to give people for Christmas. We must have overloaded it, and it snapped into 3 pieces. Now we can't have Christmas with our family, and the children won't have their presents. Don't be upset, I told them. I can fix it. How? They asked, holding out 3 broken pieces of wood. I gave them my new broomstick, the fast one, the one that didn't fly upside down. You need it more than I do, I said. Happy Christmas! As I walked away, I could hear them laughing merrily as they loaded the presents onto the broomstick. Happy again, they flew away into the night. I trudged home. I was so tired, and I was worried what Zanzibar would say when he saw me. As I got close to the cave, there was Zanzibar waiting for me.
Heckerty!
He squealed, hugging me and dancing round and round.
It is you, and you look just like yourself again.
I looked at myself in the mirror and smiled. My hair was frizzy, my old coat was torn and patched, but I looked just like me.
Happy Christmas, Heckerty!
Said Zanzibar.
This is the best present of all! I have my Heckerty back just the way she always is, kind and loving.
Even my old broomstick agreed, rustling its twigs to show how pleased it was that I was back at home. Happy Christmas, Zans, I said. Let's hang up our stockings and wait for Father Christmas. And we did.
Love from Heckerty.